Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. Saturdays in the Square. The Summer 2023 Concert Series starts Saturday, June 17th in Buffalo. And the headliner for the first show is Americana throwback Kimmi Bitter. Kimmy's making old music cool again. She just won the San Diego Music Award for Best Country or Americana Artist. And we're excited to have Kimmi on the show. First, Kimmi, thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to come on down to Buffalo.
Yeah, you're starting the first one of the summer. You get to set the tone of everything. Well, let's go back. Let's go back, Kimmi. You started at age 18 in music by learning the guitar. Was this when you were in college? Was this before you went? How did it start?
I was actually visiting my cousin in college. I was a senior, almost done, and I always knew I wanted to be a musician, a singer-songwriter. And when I went there, there was this guy playing guitar, drunk on a couch, and it did it for me. And I said, you know what, I'm going to learn guitar. And so I went back home and I played guitar every single day until I could kind of get by on it. And yeah, so I feel like I kind of got a little bit of a late start, but I have arrived nonetheless.
Yeah, you've arrived in a big way. I found you were in a band called Vinyl Mill. You meet a drummer. Tell us a little bit about that, because he kind of sparks you into the band.
Wow. So that was my very first band. I think I was 26 years old when I started my first band. And yeah, so it was kind of like a indie pop band, but I brought the retro flair. I just love old school music. So we had a bit of a retro flair. And then the bass player in the band is Ben, and he still plays with me today. I've never not been in a band without him. Okay. So he is on the road with us too. He plays upright bass. Yeah, so those were the Vinyl Mill days. That band maybe lasted a year or two. And then, and now we're a lot more country, throwback country centered, which is what I grew up singing and is just kind of where my heart is. So that's where we are now.
Yeah, well, and Willis, you bring him into the mix. What was it, 2019? When did he come in?
Yeah, so he dabbled playing with us in also that very first band, Vinyl Mill. Pedal still, he barely knew the instrument, but he could make it really dirty and rock and roll, which is what we were back then. And so we did a couple shows with him, and he also just shared this total love for music of the 60s and the 70s and the 50s. And so we really bonded over that. And so he's also my boyfriend. So we've been playing music together for probably 8 years. Yeah. And so he started on bass. So he used to be, it's very musical chair-ish in my band. Ben, who plays bass now, used to at one point be a drummer. He once was a keyboard player. He once was the lead guitarist. And now he's on bass. And then Willis was the bass player, and now he's on lead guitar, and we've all found our places. So
Kimmi, I always love when the romance starts because of music, because you meet Willis. How long was it before the romance happened? Was it you were recording music? What?
We were just kind of friends of the scene, the music scene back home for a year, but we just always had a really strong connection and bond over this throwback lifestyle. And so we could always just we had great conversation, and we could just talk about whatever for forever. And I always was so drawn to him, but it was we were friends for a year, and then we got together, and then we've been inseparable since.
And they'll be here in Buffalo, Wyoming, coming up here on June 17th. Go and check out Kimmi, KimmiBitter.com. She's on Instagram, Facebook. Go to YouTube, watch her videos, watch her other songs. You go to Spotify and also listen to her music. And again, June 17th, Saturdays in the Square, right here in Buffalo. You went out to Nashville to see the scene out there, but you said it was more alt country, and Americana is more out west, which is kind of a cool take, or an interesting take.
Yeah. In Nashville, Nashville is so cool. We'll be there later this year. I had a hard time finding my place because I actually felt like it was more top 40 country.
Yeah.
And that's just to
That's not
me
you.
such a different it's an absolutely different genre. Like modern day country to me is just a completely different genre than where country started. And I like roots instruments. I like string instruments, and I like this music not sounding super perfected and, in my opinion, kind of sterilized. And so I just kind of Nashville's massive. It's such an amazing, huge, supportive scene, and I love it out there. But I had a hard time like finding a place for my very specific throwback kind of 1960s take on country music. It is out there, but yeah, I just had a hard time finding my place. And we were living in a van. We were going to maybe move there, but then I freaked out and I didn't want to stop touring. So we've kind of been touring for 2 years nonstop ever since.
Is that
Yeah.
what's catapulted you? Because I mean, you've been on fire the last 2 years. Do you think it's because you've been on the road?
Thank you. Definitely think it's most certainly helped. It's kind of just like a grassroots movement, starting the old fashioned way and working from the ground up. And yeah, but then once I recorded the single My Grass is Blue, that's when I started kind of breaking some barriers. You're not really anything without a good song, and that happened to be my good song. So so it got some attention, and then now I was like, okay, this is cool. This is what I love. How cool that this very old, tiny 60s country ballad is getting some attention. I'm going to make a whole record like that. So now we have recorded that, and it's in the mixing stage, and that will be to come early 2024.
Yeah, it's coming. You mentioned the van. You had the Colonel, the old yellow van. You had the steer horns on the front of it. It's crazy because have you ever heard of a band called Big Head Todd and the Monsters?
I haven't, but I should check them out. It sounds like
they've been around for 37 years. They had a van that they started with. They called it the Colonel. They drove it around for like 250,000 miles before they finally
That's
retired
awesome.
it. I went to like their 20th anniversary and they had the Colonel on the stage at Red Rocks. It was hilarious. But when I saw that you named it the Colonel, that immediately popped into my head, which was hilarious.
Yes.
But you've made it, Kimmi. You got a new Colonel recently.
I know, we did. It's very bittersweet because I was so attached to our other van. We'd lived like so much life and so many memories in it. It was a 30-year-old van. It had such a little personality, but it was old, and so it needed a lot of maintenance, and it broke down all the time. We're always forking money into it. And so it's now sold, and I'm sad. We have the brand new van, and it's really hilarious that you bring this up. We have this brand new van. It has less than 1,000 miles on it, and it's already in the shop. It's in the shop right now. And so I actually just think we're cursed that it wasn't that like, I don't know. We got the brand new van because we're like, we got to have reliability. It's been in the shop twice now. And I just don't think they make them like they used to.
No, and the new Colonel doesn't look like it was cheap, so that's not good.
It was not. It is so crazy. I can't believe they can get away with like the quality of work. But I'm hoping that this is just a small bump in the road. It's obviously under warranty because it's a brand new van. So that's always takes some stress away that, there's not a huge bill at the end. Yeah, but hopefully it's this, and then it's smooth sailing, and it's so much bigger than the other van. It's already been like luxury for us who like are used to living in small spaces. So this van seems like it's a mansion.
Yeah, well, 2 years on the road. What do you enjoy about the road? Because that's not an easy life, pounding the pavement.
It is. I just believe in my vision and my dream, and that's just what I feel like I have to do. I'm not banking on going viral or having any easy level of success. I know, like, for me, I don't really have a lot of connections in the industry, except for the ones I've made. Like, I just doing the grind. And so for me and my story, I just have to work it and work hard and do whatever it takes to get to where I want to be. And so that's why I do the road life, and, we make it work. And there's so many great things. It is hard. It is really fatiguing on the body and on your mental state, but it's also so awesome. Like, I get to see the country and I make a living playing music, and that makes everything worth it. So I can't really complain.
And you get to see the true vibe of the country.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Go and check her out. Kimmi Bitter. It's KIMMI.com. Go to Instagram, Facebook. Just type in her name. You'll find her. Go to YouTube. Check out all of her other stuff. June 17th, Saturday in the Square in Buffalo. She's going to be headlining the very first one of the summer. Well, speaking of the Colonel, you had a beer made after the Colonel.
We did. Yeah, the Colonel was like famous in its own little way. Yeah, it had a beer brewed after it, and it was such a part of became such a part of our brand. Yeah, and so what we would do is it had these bullhorns on the front of the van, and it became like a thing where we would shotgun. We'd puncture the hole of a beer through the longhorns, and we shotgun. And so we're shotgunning with people all across America. It was so awesome to like bring our little tradition. And we kept the bullhorns, and we're gonna put them on the new van, but we didn't have time to do it this time. So next time we pass through, we'll have to do a shotgun together.
Don't tell my 21-year-old son that. He loves shotgunning beers.
Yeah.
You've got some photos on your Instagram. You're in Arizona right now. Who's taking the photos of you? Because they're amazing.
Oh, thanks. Willis does. Willis who plays guitar. Yeah, so he takes the photos, and then I edit them up and get them all vintagey looking. And yeah, we kind of just do it all. Willis also makes our music videos. And that's how we just make it happen.
Job doing it. And your clothes, where are you scoring your wardrobe?
A little bit all over. I've searched really hard to find these throwbacky clothes, because it's obviously not the fashion of 2023. It's the fashion of the 60s. But they do exist. And my most favorite company I've recently found is called 9 Lives Bazaar. And that's what they're in Australia, and everything that they make it's expensive, but it's all like really high quality. And it's all got like a 70s or a 60s flair to it. So it's right up my alley.
It's perfect for your vibe wherever you're getting. I figure you got to be digging hard to get some of these clothes.
I am, but I love it. I love finding little gems to wear.
Can you feel the difference in the last couple of years? Can you feel like we're getting somewhere doing all of this?
If you were to talk to me a year ago, I was about at a breaking point where I was ready to give up. So it's all really happened within like the last 8 months.
Yeah.
And it's just started like snowballing, and even more so in the last maybe 3 or 4, 6 months. And so I feel the difference now, and it feels really exciting to be back on the road, and to do, another caliber, a level of gigs and shows, because I'm used to doing 3-hour, background music shows. So this is really exciting to like now be playing some festivals, and to be headlining the Saturdays in the Square. And I'm really excited for it. And to be in a place where now I can sustain long-term with a trio on the road, where it used to just be me and Willis, and we were doing acoustic things. And now we were able to like get Ben out on the road and, kind of provide for us all. And towards the end of the year, I'm working to getting the full band out. So I'm putting that into motion, and I'll be really excited to really bring the entire vibe, like how it is on the record, to the live show. But it's just a little step at a time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One step as we go. This producer, Mark Neal, did you search him? Is he your vibe?
He's not the producer. He's not. No. The producer is a guy named Michael Gurley. And he's the one that did My Grass is Blue and And I Dream of You, my other song in this upcoming album that we're working on. And I've known him since I was a kid. And so he's kind of been in and out of my life as a mentor for a long time, but we've never, did a song together. He was in a 90s like alternative rock band called Dada, and they had some mainstream level of success. They mostly had like a one-hit wonder called Disneyland that did pretty well, and they have a huge cult following, like underground cult following, when they go and tour. And so it makes no sense that we did this country song together, but he is just an amazing guitarist and musician. He knows all the genres, and he loves old school country, and he was able to like really make this vision come to life because he's just such a well-versed musician. And he sang all the background harmonies and produced the song, and he wrote a really fat chunk of this song. And so he's a lot of the magic behind it all. But I've known him for a while. He went to high school with my dad, and then somehow the stars aligned. I know, and somehow the stars aligned like many decades later.
That's crazy. It's not what you know, it's who you know half the time.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's all about the team you have. I've worked with so many different people, and he's really like the first person that really has gotten my vision. I've recorded with a lot of people and I haven't released a lot of stuff because I have such a specific vision. I want it to really sound like the music I love, which is the music of the 60s. And it's really hard to achieve that in modern day time because we don't use the technology they used to use, and we don't listen to that music. So people's ears aren't tuned that way. So it's taken me a really long time to like find the right team who has the same vision and passion about that. And he's one of those guys. So I'm pretty lucky to have him in my corner right now.
Well, when you come to Wyoming and Montana, they're gonna eat you up, Kimmi. So
I hope so. I hope so.
Kimmi Bitter, she's gonna be here June 17th, Saturdays in the Square in Buffalo. She's also gonna be at the TA Ranch later on this summer.
Yes.
She's gonna got a bunch of dates in Montana. Go to KimmiBitter.com. Have you played in Wyoming before?
I have, but only like a handful, maybe 2 or 3 shows. And that was last summer. And I played the Roughed Up Duck in Laramie, which is such a fun little place. And then I did a show with Dusty, who puts together the Saturday in the Square. Okay. And we did like just a one-off thing. And he was like, you guys need to be headlining this. So here we are now.
So was that in Buffalo?
I think it was. Yeah,
okay, so
I think it was. And we did it at a place called I want to say it was called the Carousel Center. Yeah. Okay, but so nobody knew who I was. So it was a pretty small turnout, but it was so much fun because, you know, the 10 people that were there were like, we were having a great time. Yeah. So I'm excited to come back and do it bigger and better. And I have a lot of shows in Wyoming this summer. So I'm just counting down the days to get out to up there in the Northern West. It's so beautiful in summer and we can't wait.
Yeah. You're going to see it at the beginning and at the end of summer. So it's going to be.
I know.
Great. Well, let's hit them with the song, My Grass is Blue. Since I Lost You, My Grass is Blue. Tell us a little bit about the song, Kimmi.
I've been wanting to write this song forever. And I wrote it, and it was more of a bluegrass song. And it was so awkward. And then when I was with Mike and we were doing a writing session, I was like, I got this song called My Grass is Blue. And he's like, that is a killer song title. But I came up with the song title because on a Leonard Skinnard album cover. Okay, I think it's called Street Survivors. Anyways, it's the one with them all up in flames. And one of the members has a shirt that says, My Grass is Blue. And I just thought that was the greatest like slogan because one, grass isn't blue, but it also like can kind of mean bluegrass. And so then I came up with this story of where it would be about some Kentucky gal who fell in love with the bluegrass player and he promised her all these dreams and now she's heartbroken. And so her grass is blue, but it's also a very bluegrass musician kind of storyline behind it. And so that's kind of how that song came to life.
Crazy. Yeah, that is Street Survivors. There he is. My grass.
Yes, is it Street Survivors? Oh, good. I'm so glad I got that right. I would have sounded like such a fool if I like didn't know my own facts. But yeah, I just thought that I saw that and was like, I want a shirt that looks like that. And so I was like, but I have to have a song. I made a shirt like that. We're all sold out of it. But I did finally get to make my Grass is Blue shirt.
Awesome. That's a killer story. Well, let's hear it. Go and see her. Do not miss her Saturday, June 17th in the Square in Buffalo. Kimmi Bitter. She's definitely going to entertain all of us Saturday night. Well, Kimmi, thanks so much. We'll see you in Buffalo.
See you there.
My Grass is Blue. It's KIX 96.5.